can take you anywhere, I could take you home. I just wanna be there so you never feel alone. I know how it feels to be lost inside this world. Don't give up, no.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather Christine, if you didn't know. Today I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys about where I've been and what's to come. I'm so sorry I look a mess on here. I really just didn't feel like doing my makeup or anything, so this is how you are going to have to handle me. I do promise the background and stuff will get better like it did before, but we're just slowly trying to transition into this, and I basically just wanted to talk to you all about where I've been, because I've been gone a while. Basically, 2022 has been the year from hell for me. No exaggeration. I started out this year thinking it was going to be like the best year of my life, and it quickly just started tumbling. So I started out this year, I was like falling in love with somebody. It was all good. Everything was great. And then a couple of things happened, one including with my daughter. She was in the hospital, and when she got home from the hospital, which I'm so thankful that she's here with, when she got home from the hospital, my mental health went for a spiral. I think that I had really been struggling with depression that I had been putting off for about a year at that point, because I really started struggling when I lost one of my best friends, Derek. He was my age and passed away of a massive heart attack. So when he passed away, I was trying to put off the fact that I was struggling, and that is where I went wrong. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm fine, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I'm going to get through this. I tried to keep myself busy. I tried to tell myself it was going to be okay. If you all didn't know, I am also in recovery. So I was trying to keep all of that together as well and stay sober. And it just, I knew it was going to catch up to me, basically. So when my daughter got home from the hospital, I think all of these things were finally like, we can't do this anymore, and you are going to pay for not getting the help that you needed. I started having major debilitating panic attacks. Now, it just started one random night. I remember I had drove to my mom's with my daughter, and we were actually on our way back home, and we only live about 6 miles from my mom. So halfway through the drive, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. And I'd been through a lot of stress. So I literally thought I was having a heart attack. And I whipped the car back around to go back to my mom's house. And I just couldn't catch my breath no matter how bad I tried. I felt dehydrated. I was dizzy. Yeah, I begged my mom to call 911. I thought I was dying. And for whatever reason, I guess because maybe she goes through them, she knew I was having a panic attack. So anyways, I got over that night, and it didn't happen again for another couple of weeks. So I thought, okay, because also I've had panic attacks off and on since I was 7 years old. So I've dealt with them before, but I haven't dealt with them hardcore for like 14 years before this. So I might have like a sporadic one, but then it would go away and never came back. So that's exactly what I thought it was. I thought I was fine. I thought I was clear and everything was all good. A couple of weeks later, I had a bad one again. Again, I was just like, well, I've been through a lot. My nerves are bad. Yada. But that wasn't it. They started coming more frequently every week, and then every other day, and then every day, and then once a day, and then twice a day, and then all day. Basically, I spent my summer just doing what I basically had to do to live, and other than that, I didn't do anything else. I was constantly panicking. So in June, I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. It was like 3:50 in the morning, and I started like blacking out. So I got my son up, my oldest son, and I mean, I typically wouldn't drag him into anything, but I was convinced I was dying. I was like, I gotta call 911. Something's wrong with mommy. Just tried to make sure that your little brothers don't get woken up, or your sister. And I called 911. They took me to the hospital. Everything checked out fine. It was a panic attack. And all my blood work looked fine. My EKG looked fine. And so I was like, Heather, you have got to get it together. Now, my depression was also getting worse at this point as well, because I was so by myself. Like, I don't know how else to explain anxiety, except, like, not just anxiety, but specifically panic attacks, except for the fact that it is within our innate nature to run when we're in fear, okay? To get away from the fearful situation, to get the hell out of there. What if that fear, that thing that's scaring you is within you and you can't run from it, so it's with you 24/7? I was isolated. I was terrified. I mean, and then I started having anticipatory panic attacks, which means I was so scared of having another panic attack that I would give myself a panic attack. And when you get to that point, you can't really go to stores. You can't really drive. It is hard. Well, I am a single mother to 4 kids, so I had to do these things. I had to make myself, but it was extremely hard. And I really my heartbeat would get up, I'm not playing, to 150 160 beats per minute or whatever. It was bad. Okay, it was really, really bad. And of course, when my heart rate would go up that much, I thought I was dying. I mean, because that's not normal for heart rate to go up like that. And, I know I'm not old, but the last time I went through this, I was 19 through 20, and I was like really young then. I'm 34 now. Just in case you all don't know, my father died of a massive heart attack at 44. So that always lives within me. I'm always scared of that. So anyways, I had this whole hospital debacle in June. None of the summer got any better. The summer was horrible. I was just basically inside the house. The heat gave me anxiety. We had a very, very hot summer where I live. It was just awful. And then finally, in the beginning of August, like the very beginning of August, I decided that I was going to take my kids and we were going to go stay with my parents for like a week or so to see if that helped take some weight off of me and, help me get back to me. The first night I stayed the night, I'm not joking. It's like God knew, thank you, Jesus, that I needed to be there. Everything was fine except for me having anxiety. I went to sleep that night, and at like 4:00 in the morning, I woke up and I knew something wasn't right. I knew it was not just a panic attack. And all I remember is I was sleeping in my old room in the basement, and I hopped out of bed and I said, oh God. And I remember getting up the first couple of stairs and then I blacked out. Thankfully, I got up the rest of the stairs safely, and I got back to my parents' room, and this is where I go off my mom's memory because I don't remember any of this. She said I started shaking her and I was saying things like mama, mommy, mama, mommy, and she thought that I was like having a night terror because I do that, or coming out of a nightmare. Like I do have those sometimes. And then she said all of a sudden she looked at my stepdad and she was like, Bill, turn on the light. She's shaking real bad. I think she is having a seizure. And that's exactly what happened. I seized out. I fell over and they tried to ride it out with me. I have epilepsy, by the way. But I don't have seizures often, and they're always right out of my sleep. So I don't have to call the ambulance as long as my seizure is under like 5 minutes. I don't have to call the ambulance when I have seizures. So they weren't going to call the ambulance at first. However, my parents have never witnessed me having a seizure before. It's only been my ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend, because I didn't start having seizures until I was 18 and I was already moved out by then. So they didn't know anything about this seizure fog when you come out of a seizure. So I was coming out of the seizure, and this is where my memory starts coming back in, but it wasn't fully there because my stepdad was holding me and trying to tell me it was okay. But I swear to you, in my mind, he looked like a complete stranger. So all I thought was I ran up the stairs and somebody kidnapped me. I'm looking straight at my stepdad, but I don't recognize him. So I start fighting him. I'm breaking glass. They're trying to calm me down. I'm telling him to get off of me. I hurt myself so bad. Maybe I'll insert some pictures or something. And I was asking, like, they did call 911 at this point, and they were trying to tell me they did, but I didn't recognize them, so I didn't trust them. I was like, please call 911. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And I had blood coming from my mouth where I'd bit my tongue so freaking hard. I went to the hospital. They gave me an extra dose of Keppra, which is the medicine that I take anyways, and they watched me for a little bit. Everything was good with me. They sent me home, thought it was just a breakthrough seizure, probably caused from all the stress I've been going through. However, every single time that I've ever had a seizure prior to that, I have not been aware at all. Like, I didn't wake up but right before it happened or anything like that. I just wasn't aware. It would be literally out of my sleep and I'd wake up to somebody crying. This time I got up before the seizure started and I remember that. So I think with that being said and me going through severe panic attacks, it caused me severe PTSD. So after a week of staying with my parents, I tried to go back home. And that lasted for like a month and a half. Because this seizure happened on August 2nd. And I went back home until September 14th. And my panic attacks just kept getting worse and worse. And I told my mom, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to keep my house at this point. Like, because I can't stay home. I don't think it makes any sense for me to keep my house. So I went back to my parents. By the way, I'm at my house right now. I did end up keeping it. I went to my parents for about a month and a half. I went from September 14th until November 2nd. And it really helped me. It gave me some security back. I've been home now for a week and a half. I'm doing way better. I'm actually very proud of myself. Actually, last night was the first night that I straightened my hair since February, honestly. Even though I'm on here a whole mess and I know I look a mess without makeup, I promise I'll come back and look way better. But I still feel better than what I felt. Like, I know I probably still look hideous, but I still at least feel better than what I felt. I'm actually just getting over an illness and all that. So, but I feel like I can finally do this. I'm hoping I stay that way. And I'm just hoping 2023 is better for me mentally. Like, when I say I've waken up almost every day this year just fighting for my life, I mean that. Life has been really, really hard, and I don't want to sit here and cry on camera, so stop it, Heather. But life has been really, really hard. I've been wanting to come back to YouTube for forever, but it's always been one thing after another, and my anxiety wouldn't allow it. And then actually, I guess when I moved in here a year ago, in the process of that, I've misplaced all kinds of things. So y'all should see the ghetto setup I have right now. It's bad. Like, I literally have my phone sitting against, because I lost my tripod and I've never gotten a regular camera to film with. I literally have my phone sitting on my makeup shelf. Thankfully, I found one of my lights, and thankfully I have my Yeti microphone because I still do my podcast. So today I was like, you know what? I feel a little decent about myself, so I'm going to go ahead and do this video about where I've been, and then the rest of the videos I can do a little bit better of a job at, but at least I got this hard talk out of the way. The other point of this video was for me to really let you all know that mental health issues are real. And I know so many people base their platforms now off of this, and it destigmatizes it, but there's also like a bad point to it because some people have been caught lying. And I promise don't build your platform off of something you don't have like this, because if you had it, you would wish that you would have never lied about it. These are struggles that you could never, ever, ever imagine. Also, the other night I watched Selena Gomez's. I've always liked some of her music, but I've never been like a huge Selena Gomez fan. But I watched her new documentary called My Mind and Me. I don't know, but it's on Apple TV. And if you struggle mentally, you should really look it up, because it really does assure you it doesn't matter your status in life or what you have or anything like that. Anybody can get hit with this stuff out of the middle of nowhere, and it changes you forever. Like, you'll never be the same after you deal with this stuff. No, I ask God every day, God, if you could just please give me back the normal me, I will not take advantage of it. So I wanted to go back and do things that I love to do, that I used to enjoy, like this. I never started my YouTube to be famous or anything like that. And honestly, what ran me off of YouTube was my insecurities, because I was getting laughed at for the content I was putting out. People I thought would support me weren't supporting me. People were making fun of me. So now people get to see in public how much people hate me, and that's embarrassing. And it is embarrassing. Over this year, though, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. If I'm helping one person, which was always my mission statement between The Uncensored Woman, which is my podcast, and this channel, if I am helping at least one person, that is all I've ever cared about. And I can't lose sight of this. I genuinely do this stuff because it is a passion for me. No other reason. If I happen to grow a platform off of this, great. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be happy about that. But I also had to make sure my mind was right before I came back, because you do have to work out those sensitivities. Because if one of my videos or whatever, if it happened to hit, there's going to be mean people that flow in, and I have to be able to handle that. And that's exactly why I'm confident enough right now to hop on here, even though I know I'm looking a mess. And I'm confident enough to get on here, not looking my best, and talk about my mental health and everything I struggle with, because I've worked through those insecurities, and because I know that this message will help somebody. Please, if you're going through the panic attacks, the depression, the unaliving ideations and all that, you will get past it. Please just get some help. I have been through major therapy and medications, intensive therapy, facilities, hospitals. I have tried everything. It doesn't make you crazy. We all go through our own shit, And if you are also in the middle of your sobriety, don't throw that sobriety away, no matter how hard it is. Believe me, I know. I got that close to breaking my sobriety. That close. I was really riding a fine line. Thankfully, thank you to God, I have not did that. But I did get very close, and, just anything to numb out the feelings or whatever. And thank God I didn't do it. So I will be transparent with you all and say that I do now, because I can't take benzodiazepines. They make me more nervous. They tried to give me hydroxyzine, which also made me more nervous. And I was like, is there literally nothing for me to take out there to help? And I started using a THC pen. I only take a couple hits before bedtime, but it has greatly helped with my thoughts at night, my racing thoughts. It helps me get sleep. It also at first was helping with my appetite, and it obviously helps with my anxiety. So I don't want to go out there and recommend, everybody has their different approaches to how they handle things, but it has truly helped me. Thankfully I don't have to take anything else besides a depression medicine and stuff. So, but yeah, I want to get on this channel and talk more about this and like one occurrence at a time other than like in a big bulk. But I did want to get on here and at least explain where I've been and what I plan to do with this channel. I hope that you guys will follow me and, you know, comment as always. And you can always go back through my old videos if you haven't been here before to kind of get to know who I am and yada yada. Also, I'm gonna link some resources in the description below in case anybody needs them. And I want you to know you're not alone. We all struggle. We just struggle differently, but you are not alone. And I'm still not all the way through this. I'm still panicking more than I would like, but it is getting better. It took literally from the end of February until November to even get a slight bit of relief, and it's not all the way gone yet, but it is getting better, and I have faith that God will fully restore me. That is going to wrap up today's video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, share, like, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon.